Welcome to my channel, to everyone who's new here, and of course to those of you who are back again. Great to have you here. In this video we will take a look together at possible scenarios for the price development of several altcoins. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. You will also find another video on my channel where I analyze Bitcoin and Ethereum daily. That's definitely worth checking out too. And also worth checking out is the crypto exchange mexc, rank 8 in the global crypto exchanges. Has a higher trading volume than Bitget, OKX and Bybit at the moment, but as you can see the taker fees are so much lower than the other exchanges, and if you want to save another 20% on your trading fees, then you can use my referral code or my referral link, which you can find in my video description. There you save another 20%, and here you can see 100 pairs with 0 fees on mexc. And here you have a huge list of popular altcoins which you can trade without any fees on mexc. So today is Good Friday, so basically all the crypto exchanges are not crypto exchanges. All the big exchanges are closed. So the market is going a bit slower, like in the weekends, somewhere like this. So basically it's a relaxed day. Let's say it like that. So XRP, falling wedge, broke to the downside. We have space to get down to $2.04. I will put your price mark here. This is the target of that falling wedge, rising wedge, I'm sorry. We are still in a big falling wedge and we couldn't break it to the upside yet. So basically I can put what I drew here just to the right side, and if we get a 1 hour candle close over the currently $2.08, there we get a nice 1 hour candle close, maybe here, a nice retest with a follow through, then I can think about higher prices for XRP, and the falling wedge is telling me XRP has the potential to go up to, where is it, $2.23, 24. But as long as we don't break the chart pattern to the upside, it's basically worth nothing in my view. We can still get new lows for XRP as long as we don't break it to the upside. I would be careful for the $1.98. If we break that to the downside, then it would be not positive for XRP. Then I think we can get into that purple box where we can find support. But as long as we go sidewards or within that falling wedge, it's not bullish and also not bearish to me. So what about Dogecoin? Dogecoin is still in the bear flag. I have tracked the bear flag. If we break it to the downside, which is currently the 15.5 cents, then it would be bearish to me. Then we can drop to the support 15.4 cents. If we also break it to the downside, then the 15 cents are going to be interesting for Dogecoin. I would be a bit bullish if we break the 16 cents to the upside, but also keep in mind, depending on when we are going to break the 16 cents to the upside, 16.1 cents, if we break it to the upside, for example here, then we would be still in the bear flag in that area. And if we get rejected, we can still get bearish. So I want to see breaking the bear flag to the upside. And then it would be super bullish to me, up to 17 cents for Dogecoin. But I think this scenario is more realistically for Dogecoin. What about Solana? I have tracked an ascending triangle or a rising wedge. Doesn't matter what it is. We broke it to the downside and retested it. Also what I've tracked is, I wouldn't say a bear flag, but still a panel. It is a panel where we broke to the downside, but we are having here a support trend line which gave us support. And this trend line comes from far away, from here with many touch points, and if we are going to lose this, then I think we can drop a bit lower than expected for Solana. Also Solana did pretty good in my view. Yeah, might be also possible that we get back into 124 US dollar in that area if we break the red trend line to the downside. But if we also break the 123 US dollar, then what we think is pretty good, yeah, because we got huge pumps for Solana, it can be even very bearish, because that can be a double top pattern. And if a double top pattern breaks to the downside, then the common target would be the 110 US dollar. So I would look for the 124 US dollar. If they hold, then it looks good for Solana and we can get some strength to the upside. If we break it to the downside, then the pattern is going to get activated. So what about Cardano? Cardano did nothing. We broke the rising wedge to the downside, but still we broke it to the downside. We got the retest, but since then we are going sideways. And I think we will continue going sideways until we get a major breakout to the upside. And then we can sell off, or to the downside and we sell off from here immediately. That's what I think at the moment. I think my target for Cardano is going to be the 58.58 cents. But if we also keep in mind, we have to go into the 1 hour chart to see here a fair value gap. And this fair value gap can get closed. Yeah, it might be possible that we just wick into it. Yeah, not having a lot of time into that area until we then get up. It will probably like this, that we get into that area, wick into it, get a fast, quick buy up, and then we can reach for higher prices for Cardano in my view. But I'm not going to jump into a long trade once we get there, because also keep in mind we have another huge fair value gap lower than us. And I want to see some breakouts, bullish breakouts, to be positive for Cardano. This falling wedge also broke to the upside, but it wasn't enough yet. Yeah, we got into the resistance, 63 cents. If we break that to the upside, would be positive, and we can get up to 64.88 cents. This area here. As long as we don't break the 63 cents, Cardano is not going to get bullish in my view. So what about render? Yeah, huge, I would say, rising wedge. Didn't break to the downside yet, but what I saw here is actually, I have to draw it here. This is a triangle in my view. If we go into the 50 minutes chart, then you're going to see why. Looks like to me a triangle which broke to the downside, and we probably get the retest by filling also the fair value gap. Also, this can be a double top pattern which also broke to the downside and is getting the retest. So render is short to me down to $3.80, where we have the first fair value gap. But if the $3.80 also breaks to the downside, then it's going to continue being short down to $3.70. Yeah, so I would take my first profits for render, 50% out of my trade. Once we get between $3.80 to $3.81, 82. Yeah, once we get into that fair value gap, 50% out of my trade. The other 50% I'm going to set a stop loss at break even to save it. And if we also break the $3.80 to the downside, then here's going to be my next take profit. And then we have to see if we also break structure to the downside, then I can think about getting into another short position in the future for render. What about ONDO? Nothing. Nothing happened. We are still in the rectangle. We didn't break to the upside here. Yeah, we have said in yesterday's video we have to get over the 85 cents, get a nice retest, and then we can reach for higher prices. We sold off. Yeah, so basically, like I have actually thought, we are still probably going like this, sidewards. As long as we don't break anything to the upside or downside, I'm not going to trade ONDO. If we break the 82.22 cents to the downside, then the target of that rectangle would be the 79.33 cents. But also keep in mind, we have a huge fair value gap down to 77.4 cents. And I think we are having a high chance to close it, most likely. Yeah, we don't have to close it 100%. We can also just close it 60%, for example, or 50%. But in that fair value gap, I'm going to take profits for ONDO if I'm going to enter a short trade after we break structure to the downside. If we break the 85 cents to the upside, then we also take the same target. Yeah, that's the length of that. That's the length of the spread of the rectangle. And it's showing us 88 cents, but I think 89 cents are going to be more realistic if we break it to the upside. What about SUI? Also, similar stage like ONDO. I think we are in a rectangle. If we break it to the downside, which is currently the $2.09, then we can meet the area $2.04. Also keep in mind we have support here, this white trend line. So I would use the white trend line as support, which is the $2.05.19. If we break to the upside, the $2.14.5, then the target would be the $2.19.5 for SUI. And I also think that the push to the upside can even be a lot more than this than the target of that rectangle, because we also have here a trend line coming from the upside, which we then would break to the upside if we break the $2.15 to the upside with a small dip maybe, and then we can probably reach for higher prices for SUI. Yeah, but let's wait out for breakouts before we get into some trades. What about HBAR? HBAR looks short to me. Here I have tracked a rectangle. Before the video I have done it. Broke to the downside. Okay, it didn't hit the target yet. We are probably getting now a retest of another breakout. We had here a trend line, which is a very sharp one, but I would still use it to enter a short trade for HBAR, because I think this is going to get a good entry for a nice push to the downside. And depending on where the push to the downside is going to be, I would use it as short entry. And here we are. We are at perfect retest. So that retest I'm going to use to enter my short trade. It can even get a bit more up to retest the 16.48 cents. But after that, I think we are going to sell off. It is going to take a bit longer than expected. Like, we are not during the week. We are similar to a weekend right now, since we have holidays. So I would say enjoy your holidays, and we see each other tomorrow. Yeah, I hope that I gave you some valuable information. See you.